March 16th, 1941. Midnight. The North Atlantic roils like a living beast, 300 miles southeast of Iceland, where the wind howls through the darkness and the waves crash with relentless fury. Salt spray stings your face as you imagine standing on the conning tower of U-99, the German submarine slicing through the Black Sea like a predator in its element. The air is bitter cold, biting into exposed skin, and the faint hum of diesel engines vibrates beneath your feet. Kapitänleutnant Otto Kretschmer, the silent Otto, peers through his binoculars, his breath fogging in the frigid night. There, silhouettes on the horizon. Convoy HX-112, a lumbering herd of merchant ships, fat with supplies for Britain's war machine. And guarding them, a handful of those puny British corvettes and destroyers, bobbing like toys in the storm. Kretschmer smirks, his voice low but laced with amusement, as he mutters to his first watch officer, "Look at them, Hans. Those little flower-class corvettes, slow as oxen, blind as bats. They call them escorts, more like sheepdogs without teeth." The crew below decks chuckles over the intercom, the tension of the hunt giving way to cocky banter. They've been here before, in these killing grounds they dub the happy time. U-boats rule the waves, wolf packs tearing into Allied shipping with impunity. Kretschmer, already an ace with over 200,000 tons sunk, knows the drill. Surface under cover of night, pick off the stragglers, dive before those clunky escorts can even turn their bows. The British ASDIC sonar pings harmlessly if you're clever, and their depth charges, wild guesses, exploding far astern like distant thunder. You can almost hear the laughter echoing in the cramped control room, where the air reeks of sweat, oil, and unwashed bodies. The men light cigarettes, trading jokes about the tiny tin cans above. HMS Walker, HMS Vanoc, names that mean nothing but easy evasion. They couldn't hit a whale if it surfaced in their mess hall, one engineer quips, drawing guffaws. Kretschmer, ever the tactician, plots his approach, slip inside the screen, torpedo the fattest freighters, watch the chaos unfold. His U-99 is a ghost, silent on the surface, deadly below. No one mentions fear. Why would they? The Kriegsmarine's U-boat arm is invincible, Dernitz's grey wolves devouring Britain's lifeline. In 1940 alone, they've sent nearly 4 million tons to the bottom, starving the island nation. Churchill himself admits the U-boat peril is the only thing that truly frightens him. As the submarine closes in, the sea swells lift and drop the hull with rhythmic menace. Kretschmer orders tubes loaded, 4 torpedoes, eel-like and lethal, primed for the kill. The convoy's lights flicker dimly, forbidden but sometimes unavoidable in the panic of formation. A merchantman strays slightly, and Kretschmer's eyes narrow. "Fire!" The command snaps like a whip. Compressed air hisses, and the torpedoes streak away, bubbles trailing in the moonlight. Seconds stretch into eternity. Then, boom! A fireball erupts on the horizon, the Dutch freighter Venetia crumpling amid screams carried on the wind. Cheers erupting U-99's bowels. Another kill for the ace. The escorts wheel about, searchlights stabbing blindly into the night, but too late, too slow. Kretschmer dives shallow, evading with ease. "See? Like swatting flies," he says. his voice calm, almost bored. But the night is young, and the wolf pack gathers. Nearby, Kapitänleutnant Joachim Schipke in U-100 shadows the same prey, his own crew buzzing with the same derisive confidence. Schipke, the blonde Viking of the U-boat fleet, has sunk 37 ships himself, earning the Knight's Cross with oak leaves. Over the radio, encrypted bursts fly between boats. Escorts are jokes, slow and deaf. They laugh because it's true. The corvettes, those 250-foot flower-class vessels, top out at 16 knots, barely faster than a surfaced U-boat. Armed with a single 4-inch gun and depth charges that require the ship to pass directly over the sub. Primitive, ineffective. No radar worth mentioning, no ahead-thrown weapons, just plucky sailors freezing on open bridges, praying for a glimpse of periscope wake. March 17, 1941, 03:14 a.m. The sea is a wall of black glass now, the storm momentarily exhausted. U-99 runs on the surface, batteries recharging, diesels growling low. Kretschmer stands on the bridge, coat collar turned up, cigarette glowing like a tiny red star. He is calm, almost serene. 47 merchant ships sunk in his career so far. Tonight will push the tally higher. The convoy is broken, burning tankers lighting the horizon orange, men screaming in the water. Perfect. Then the voice pipe crackles. Captain, Aztec contact, very close, bearing 190, closing fast. Kretschmer's cigarette pauses halfway to his lips. Impossible. They surfaced well outside the screen. He snaps the binoculars up. There, HMS Walker, a V&W-class destroyer, old but vicious, charging straight at them at 25 knots, bow wave white in the moonlight. Her searchlight stabs out, catches U-99 square in its glare. Alarm! Dive! 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 The klaxon shrieks. Men tumble down the ladder, boots clanging on steel rungs. Valves spin, vents roar open. U-99 tilts hard by the bow, plunging beneath the waves. 30 meters, 50, the pressure hull groans. Kretschmer slides down the ladder last, slamming the hatch behind him as the first depth charges detonate. Boom, boom, boom. The ocean turns into a hammer. Light bulbs shatter, glass raining on the control room floor. A depth gauge spins wildly. Men are thrown against pipes, blood streaking faces. The air fills with the stench of cordite and fear sweat. Kretschmer grips the periscope support, knuckles white. Silent routine. Rig for depth charge. The diesels are dead. Only the faint hum of electric motors now. The crew moves like ghosts, barefoot, whispering. You can feel it in your own chest, the crushing silence, the waiting. Every man knows the mathematics. Walker has 50 depth charges. If she gets just one pattern right. More explosions, closer this time. The hull shudders so violently, a torpedo jumps its rack. Somewhere aft, a pipe bursts, spraying icy seawater. The bilge pumps whine. Kretschmer forces calm into his voice. Steer 140, slow ahead. We slip under her stern. But Walker's captain, Commander Anthony Pugsley, is no amateur. He has hunted U-boats from Norway to Gibraltar. His Aztec operator is singing out bearings like a metronome. Walker wheels hard, propellers thrashing directly overhead. The next pattern is perfect. 5 charges detonate simultaneously directly beneath the hull. U-99 is lifted bodily, then slammed down into the abyss. The lights die. A roar of water. Men scream as the pressure hull ruptures forward. Green seawater jets through torn seams. Kretschmer is hurled against the chart table, ribs cracking. In the red emergency lighting, he sees the nightmare. The forward torpedo room flooding fast, men clawing at the bulkhead door as it buckles. "Flooding in tube compartment! We're losing trim!" The bow drops sickeningly. Depth gauges spin past 160 meters below test depth. The boat is dying. Kretschmer's voice cuts through the chaos, hoarse but steady. "Blow all tanks! Emergency surface!" Compressed air screams into the ballast tanks. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, agonizingly, U-99 rights herself, clawing upward through the black. Men sob with relief. They breach the surface like a wounded whale at 0347. Walker is waiting. Her 4-inch guns open up immediately. Orange flashes ripping the night. Shells slam into the conning tower. Kretschmer staggers onto the bridge, blood streaming from a head wound, and raises his hands. Behind him, the surviving crew scramble up the ladder, throwing themselves into the freezing sea rather than burn alive as ammunition cooks off below. HMS Vanoc races in now, her searchlight pinning the broken submarine. A boarding party is already swinging out in a whaler. Kretschmer, the untouchable ace, stands motionless as British sailors swarm aboard, rifles leveled. His iron cross glints mockingly in the light. 43 men are pulled from the water. 3 are already dead. U-99 settles by the stern, her bow lifting grotesquely, then slides under with a final hiss of escaping air. On Walker's bridge, Commander Pugsley watches the swirl where the most successful U-boat in history vanished. He lights a pipe, voice low. One wolf down. Across the fleet, the news crackles in Morse. Kretschmer captured, U-99 sunk. In every U-boat still at sea, the laughter stops cold. Because the silent Otto, the man who mocked the escorts as toys, is now a prisoner in the Tower of London, and the Royal Navy just proved the hunters can become the hunted in a single night. And far away, in a quiet Admiralty basement in London, a small team of engineers and naval officers exchange grim smiles over blueprints stamped "Top Secret." The weapon that will make the entire U-boat fleet feel what Kretschmer felt tonight is almost ready. They call it Hedgehog.